Everybody, I wanted to jump on here. I've had some requests to do a full face of makeup with Leanna Cosmetics, so I wanted to show you how I do my makeup every day. And of course I do it a little faster than this, but talking through it takes a little bit longer. But when I'm doing it just really quick, it doesn't take long at all, so probably about 10 minutes. So first we're going to start with our anti-aging moisturizer. This is wonderful to moisturize your skin and keep it from getting dry. It has duopeptides and green and white tea extracts. So it's wonderful for your skin, and I think everyone needs to wear moisturizer. You know, I'll have some people say, well, my face is oily. Sometimes your face gets oily because your skin is dry and it's oiling to try to combat that dryness. So I think it's very important that everyone use a moisturizer, and if you're oily, you specifically need to use a good moisturizer so that your skin doesn't have to try to keep that dryness, you know, away. And then I kind of let that set while I'm getting ready, and I go in with my Hydrating Foundation Primer. This stuff is amazing, and you know, a lot of people ask, it just takes a little bitty bit. A lot of people ask, why do you use a primer? And it's kind of like the same thing that you think about when you're priming a wall when you paint. You know, you prime a wall to kind of fill in the porous part of the wall, make it much smoother, and to kind of fill in any cracks or anything like that. It's kind of the same way with a primer, and this stuff feels amazing on your skin. It feels like silky. It's just amazing. But you want to prime your skin. It's kind of like you just fill in those pores, and it fills in the fine lines and wrinkles and helps your foundation and your makeup go on much smoother. So it's also great for your cuticles, so you can always rub it into your cuticles, and it just feels so good. So I put that on and just let it set for a little bit normally, not very long, but just let it set a little bit. And we are going to be using our Full Coverage MAC foundation today. We have two different kinds of foundation. Some people prefer our foundation stick, which is like a stick that you can just go on. And then some people prefer the liquid. So I use both. Today I'm going to show you just using my fingers. It just takes a little bitty bit. I may have to get a little bit more out, but I'm just going to show you how well our Full Coverage Matte Foundation covers. And this has vitamin E and argan oil in it, so it is also wonderful for your skin. And especially if you're dry. I am not dry, I'm usually oily, but I love it even for oily skin. But if you're dry, you're really going to like the liquid, I think, better than the foundation stick. Both of them cover really well, and both of them are very buildable. Like, you can do a light layer if you want, or you can use a little more full coverage and build them up. Always make sure you're pulling that foundation down to your neck, just the excess. You never want a line to stop. This color matches really well, but I always want to make sure that you pull it down to your neck so that you don't have a line stopping right there. And like I said, it just takes a little bitty bit of this to go a long way. And we're just going to rub that in. Some people use a foundation brush, some people use a beauty blender. I kind of go back and forth between a beauty blender and just my fingers. And when I use concealer, I will use the beauty blender more to help get that in. And then I'm just going to go back over the areas that and pat that in where my skin is a little more porous, I guess, and I have more pores. And I'm just going to pat that in. Any places you're wanting to cover up. Now, if you notice, I'm avoiding my eye area because I'm going to use a different eye primer for my eyes that's tinted. And then I'm also going to use some concealer underneath. So you really don't have to put that foundation up in here. You know, just mainly put your foundation everywhere else except avoid your eye area. And I like a good full coverage, so especially on the places that I feel like I need a little bit more coverage. You can just pat that a little bit so it builds it up a little bit more, or you can kind of swap it just a little bit to blend it in. A little bit more on my chin here. And like I said, I really like a full coverage, especially on my areas that are more textured. We've almost got the foundation done. You just want to make sure all that is blended in really well. Make sure it's blended in well to your hairline. You want to make sure that it's blended around the sides here and down your neck. So, now that we have our liquid foundation on, I'm going to go ahead and take my eye primer. This is a wonderful eye primer. It is tinted, and it just, you see how I have that kind of discoloration? There's a little bit of redness, some veins, and some darkness here. This is just going to kind of smooth all that out and cover up any of that discolored, and it just gives you, it helps your, a primer for your face and your eyes, it helps your makeup stay on longer. And it also just makes it smoother and gives you a clean, good, you know, kind of all the same color palette to start with. So we're just gonna make sure we get that all over our eyelid from your lashes to your brows. And I'm using my mirror down here, but you're just going to make sure that you are getting that all over your eyes. And can you see the difference? Now there's no discoloration. This is also going to help your eyeshadow stay on longer without creasing or getting oily. So I'm going to let that set while I work on my concealer. And this is our Perfect Cover Plus concealer in the color Fair. And it's great because you can just stick it in your purse and take it on the go. So if you ever need any touch-ups or anything, or if you travel a lot. And I'm just going to kind of do a little triangle here. And I'm going to blend it on out underneath my eye. But this goes a little bit, goes a long way. And it's very blendable. So, and this is how I do my makeup every single day. And I'll show you when we get to the eyes. Sometimes I'll pump up the eyes a little different. Or I may switch out the colors of eyeshadows that I use, but the rest of the process I do every single day unless I use my foundation stick. That's the only thing that I might switch out. I always moisturize, prime, foundation, and conceal. There we go. And sometimes I take just a little bit of my concealer and put right here just to kind of lighten that area. And we're going to be using a highlighter powder in a little bit, so it will help lighten that a little bit more. But I just like to have that good and light right through there. Not too high up because you want to keep this dark. Anywhere the light hits, like the light usually hits right through here, that's what you want to highlight. And then you want to kind of contour the darker areas with I'm going to use a matte bronzer today. So now that we've got our concealer on and everything's looking smooth and ready for our colors, I am going to take the first color, which is Boomerang, and I am just going to apply this right into my crease here. Now, a lot of people use a transition color. If you don't have an eye primer, I suggest taking like a nude color, maybe a little bit darker than your natural skin, and putting it all over your eye, from your lashes to your eyebrow. And that's called a transition color. The reason why I'm not doing a transition color today is because I use the eye primer that is tinted as my transition color. So if you don't have an eye primer, you can use a shadow to just kind of make all that palette smooth and get away that redness, and to cover up, you know, any imperfections you have in your eyelid or any discoloration. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Boomerang color, and I'm just going to take it in the crease here and just work it in. And I'm doing like a more of a bigger crease right now, because I'm going to go back in with a darker color. It's a little more intense. This is my first color I'm going to do in the crease. So I'm making it a little wider than my crease. I'm going up a little bit higher, and then I just kind of do like a V right here, a sideways V, I guess you'd say, and just kind of pull that up. So you can see that. And then I'm going to take this side and do the same thing, and just strokes back and forth. And I'm going to pull that color up a little bit higher than my crease, and do my V there on the side. Just kind of point it down and back up. There we go. See how pretty that is? Now, I'm not finished, because what I want to do, I'm going to leave that open. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my blender brush, which is a little bit rounder, a little bit fluffier brush, and I'm going to blend that out. And you just want to blend that really well. You could never blend well enough. Just kind of blend all those harsh lines, so it makes it a little bit softer. And you can blend circular, you can, however you want to do it. See how much better that looks when it's blended out. Now I'm going to take Power, which is a beautiful shade of brown, and I'm going to take a little bit denser brush for this. It's still a round brush, but it's a little bit denser, and that is going to help me keep the color where I want it. Tap it out, or you can blow it. We don't have a lot of fallout, but I always like to tap it. And I'm going to take this from this outside corner and just kind of pull it in right at the crease. And if you don't know where your crease is, it's pretty much where your eyeball, you know, you can kind of feel where your eyeball ends. And I'm just going to pull that color. And I'm not going to take it all the way to this corner, because we want to keep that light. We don't want to darken that up. So I take it to about a little bit over halfway, and then just take it back to my V, a little sideways V there. And see, we're keeping that a little bit more just in the crease. Take some more Power for this side. And I'm just going to go right in the crease, back and forth. Our shadows are very pigmented, so it doesn't take much. Just a little dab in it, and they will last you forever. That's the great thing about our shadows. See how pretty that is? Okay, now that I'm done with my Power, I'm going to take my same blender brush, and I'm going to blend this out too, so that we don't have any harsh lines. Blend it in with that other color I used. Okay, so now that we're all blended, I'm going to take Bonfire, which is this beautiful pop of color, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it kind of right in the middle on my eyelid, and a little bit up to that color of crease that I just did. But I'm going to keep it here at my pupil and work it out. Work it almost to the corner and then out this way, just right above my lash line. So I'm going to take this and just kind of put it, see how you work it out? Almost to the outside. And then I'm going to work it up to that crease just a little bit. So so you can see it a little bit better. And you can see how pigmented our shadows are. And go on so silky smooth. Just put that a little bit closer to the corner there. Not all the way, but close. How beautiful is that? So see, I'm taking this and I'm just dabbing it and then tapping it, putting it right there. And that's how pigmented our silky shadows are. I love them because they are so pigmented. You don't get a lot of fallout with them, which is wonderful. And this is just a beautiful color. How pretty is that? Now I'm going to take just a little bit more because I'm wanting just a little bit more pop of color. If I was going out for a day look, I might just leave it at this, but I'm going to try to pop it up just a little bit more for more of a nighttime look. I mean, you could wear this for daytime also, but I'm really wanting that pop of color to show up, so I'm just going to build it up just a little bit more. There we go. Now, don't forget to blend. After each color, I blend, except for the last color. Now I'm going to take that and just blend it out just a little. I'm going to keep the color on my lid because it has nothing to blend to, but I'm going to blend it to those other colors. Okay, so now that we're done with that, I'm going to take my Cookies and Cream. This is a beautiful shimmer shadow, and I'm going to take it right at my brow bone here and in the corners and just kind of work it up. So you want to really highlight underneath that brow bone in the inside corner. So that's where your lightest shade should be. You can use a matte. I just really love shimmer, so I always use a shimmer just right there at my brow bone. See how pretty that is? And then I'm going to take it just on the inside corner right there. Just kind of blend it up just a little bit on the outer edge. See the difference there? How pretty that is? Same thing on this side. You're going to take it right underneath your brow. Just a little bit. And then put a little bit in the corner there. And we're going to build it up just a tad. I hope you guys can see this. I'm having to look in my mirror down here. And just kind of blend that. I just kind of tap it to blend it all. Beautiful. Now, before I do my eyeliner, I'm going to take my Boomerang color, just what's left on my very first color that I did. I'm going to take that and what's just left on my brush and take it down here to the lash line, the bottom lash line. Just so we're pulling those colors down a little bit so it doesn't look like it stops. So you can see I've got some color here and this one I do not. So I'm just taking whatever's left on my brush. I'm not putting anything extra on my brush, just what's left over. Because we don't want it too dark. And then I'm going to take my Power, which was this darker brown, and I'm going to put it on the lash line. And this is just kind of blending all those colors back together, tying it all out to be cohesive. And then I'm going to take my Bonfire, which was the pop of color, and just what's left on my brush, I'm going to take it down. Just a little bit right at that lash line. As close as you can get without getting it in your eye. There we go. Isn't that pretty? And that just kind of pulls it and makes it a little more cohesive. It's very subtle on the bottom, very subtle. So, but that's what we want. Now I'm going to take our Brownstone. This is the Indelible Eyes. It's a waterproof eyeliner. And it does just, you don't have to sharpen it or anything. It's an automatic pencil. It just rolls up when you need more. And I'm going to take it and just put it above my lash line. And I don't even have to look. I can just feel where my eyeliner needs to go. See that, how pretty? Now notice I didn't take it all the way to the corner. I stopped just a little bit. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Now you see how it stops and it's that harsh line? The wonderful thing about our eyeliner is it has a smudger on it. So you can take the smudger and smudge it out. See how pretty that is? You could also smudge it up if you want to create more of a smoky eye. You can smoke it out. But I am just going to keep it nice and neat. No smoky eye today because I have that beautiful color on there. I don't want to. So now I'm going to take it and just apply it right at the lash line. Just to about your pupil. You don't want to go over here. You don't want to darken it up. So just to your pupil. How pretty is that? So that completes, and then I'm just going to dab this back, make sure I don't have any excess. I didn't see any, but don't get it too close to where you wipe off that shadow there. So now that our eyes are finished, all but our mascara, of course, I'm going to show you how I contour using our beautiful matte bronzer in Henna. This is a beautiful color. As you can see, I'm running low on this. So I'm going to take my brush, and this is a little bit denser brush so that I can contour in the areas that I need to, and then we'll take a fluffier brush to contour in the other areas. So I'm just going to tap it on, I just got it on one side, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it, if you're wondering where to contour, you start about the top of your ear and go down. So just where you usually have that little indentation there. I don't have much of a cheek line, so I just have to imagine that it's about right there. And we're going to stop about right there. Now, you may think, oh my goodness, that's dark. Well, we're not finished, and that's the whole point of contouring. A lot of people, when they contour, you can't even tell that they've contoured because they don't really get it dark enough. And we're going to blend it in too. So it's going to look a little crazy at first, but you will see how beautiful it is once we get it all on. So we're going to contour just about right there on the same side. Now I'm going to take this just a tad bit and go down the sides of my nose. Just a little. This just kind of helps slim your nose, make it appear smaller. So we're going to just take that there. There we go. We're looking a little crazy, I know. Then I'm going to take my fluffier brush and put it here and just kind of go to one side. And I'm going to do around your hairline. Just right around that hairline there. Now, as you can see, because that's where the natural shadow falls, the natural darkness falls. So we're going to keep it just right around our hairline there just to give it a little color. We've already gotten down the sides of our nose and here. Now we're going to take and put a little right here on the sides of our chin, and then I always take it down my neck a little bit. So we're going to take this and just, and I always do this with the fluffy brush just on one side. See how that is? And it gives this slimming effect. If you can look in the camera and see that this one looks slimmer than this one, and it's just that darkness that we have put on there. So just a little bitty bit right along that kind of fatty part. You don't want to take it up here, and you don't want to take it down here. We're just doing right around this section right here. There we go. Now I'm going to bring it, and I'm not going to put it on the front of my chin, but I am going to put it underneath. And I'm just going to blend it out all around my neck a little bit. Not dark, but just kind of blending it out. So now what we're going to do is take our blending brush, and I'm just going to blend it. This is more of a fluffier brush. And just blend that up a little bit, not much, because we still have more steps to do. And it won't be as noticeable, I promise, once we get the rest of our makeup done. Don't blend it all off and think, oh no, it's too brown or it's too orangey or anything like that. We are going to, you'll get to see the finished look. So, now that we've got that all blended in well, I'm going to take my blush in Cuddle. This is a beautiful color. And our blushes are very, I've had this forever, and I'm just now hitting pan. They're also very pigmented. So when you're going to apply blush, don't be doing this if you're used to getting products that you have to do that with. What you want to do is you want to tap it, just tap it 2 or 3 times, and then just pat it in your skin, not this. We're going to pat it to where we want it, so it's nice and smooth, and it doesn't just sit on top, it's cohesive there. So we're just going to pat it in our pan and take it and pat it in our skin where we want it. And you're going to put like your contour here, your blush above that, and then your highlight's going to be up here. So remember, contour, blush, highlight, if you ever forget. And see how this, the blush is just kind of blending into that contour. And you'll be able to see it blend more once we finish. So that's it. I'm not going to put any on my nose or on my head or anything like that. We don't want any pink there. Now I'm going to take, my highlight, which is in Stellar, and it is beautiful. Now this does not take much at all. I take a brush like this and just tap twice. That's it. That's all you need. And you're going to apply it right here, kind of up this way, down your nose, up here. Keep it right here, here, and here. So anything that the natural light hits, that's where you're going to put it. So I'm just going to pat it around. Oh, see how pretty that is? It does not take much of this stuff at all. And it will last you forever. And then I'm going to tap again. There we go. Now I'm going to take it and go down the top of my nose where we didn't put our dark color. We're going to put our light color. See how pretty that is? Up here just a little bit where that natural light hits. It's already hitting. And then right here and down here in the middle of your chin. Oops. My bristles fell off. And that's it. That's easy. Easy, easy for highlight. So now that we've got all of our powders on, we are going to take our, this is our HD finishing powder, and it is very finely milled. It will last you forever. It's wonderful. And I want you to look now, and then when I put this on, it creates like this Instagram filter on your face. Our powder is amazing. So I'm just going to take a little bit here in the lid and dust it off. You can see how finely milled it is. And then you're just going to take it, and it's translucent, so it doesn't change the colors of any of my colors I've already put on. So that's what I love also about translucent powder. So you can put it all over anything you have, and it's not white. It just kind of is like a clear powder that you can't see. See how it blended all that in together so beautifully? Maybe just a little bit more on my nose. Make sure you get around your hairline, down the side of your neck. See how it blends everything in? You've created that, almost that Instagram filter. It is amazing. Our HD powder is amazing. And it's going to set everything in place. That's why I patted it in. It's going to set my makeup in and help it to stay longer and help it to stay where it needs to stay. Now, after you get all of your powders on, we're going to put on our setting spray. And the reason why we do this, even though we haven't completed our makeup yet, the reason why we want to do this is we don't want to put our mascara and lipstick on and then put setting spray on, because you don't want your mascara and lips that are wet to get sticky. So once you get all of your powders on, you're going to take your setting spray and you're going to hold it about 10 to 12 inches from your face, and you can either spray it in a T motion or an X motion. So I'm just going to do a T where you, and that just creates this light spritz. It's very refreshing. And your setting spray is going to hold all of that in also. So with the primer and the powder and the setting spray, those are your weapons. Now, my makeup, I will put it on at 6 o'clock in the morning and it lasts me all day. Sometimes if my daughter has a game at night, I will take my powder brush. I don't even have to open my powder. I'll just take what's left over and, you know, kind of put it on anything usually around here in my T-zone that's a little oily, just to kind of get that oil off there. And that's it. And I wear it until I go to bed to wash my face at night. So with these products, that is one thing about it. They're going to stay in place and they're going to stay on, and you shouldn't need to touch up much at all. Sometimes I will take my darker eyeshadow color and go in my crease a little bit just to darken it up if I'm going somewhere at night, because sometimes you want to create that more dramatic look. Or I may take my Bonfire color and, you know, add some color, more color back to my lids, but that's it. That's all I do for ball games or going somewhere at night after I've worn my makeup all day. So now I'm going to take just an eyelash curler and curl my eyelashes. And this is just an eyelash curler I got at the store, just a little cheapy one. Some are better than others, but this is a really good one. So I've curled my eyelashes. Now I'm going to take, whoops. Now I'm going to take our lash primer, and this stuff is amazing. Our Ultimate Volume Mascara is amazing, but if you really want to condition your lashes and kind of separate them, and you don't have to use as much mascara when you use our lash primer. So it goes on white, and it dries to a lighter white or almost clear. So I'm having to look in my mirror here, but as you can see, it's going on, just making those lashes a little bit white. But what it does is it helps condition them, and it is not, it doesn't make them brittle at all. It conditions them and just kind of helps them separate and adds some length and volume to them and kind of preps them for your mascara, which is wonderful. I got just a little bit of fallout here. Let me fix that for here we go. So I'm going to take this and just lightly coat my bottom lashes. And when you use your lash primer, not only is it going to up your lash game, but it's going to save you don't have to put as much mascara on because you have already prepped them with this. So that is amazing. I have a few eyelashes that are a little crazy. So I've done that eye. I'm going to go in and use our lash primer on this side. Do the same thing with them. I always do one side better than the other. I don't know if anybody else does that, but one side always turns out really good. Usually it's this side. I guess because I'm left-handed and I can get to it better, I'm not sure. Okay, now I'm going to do the bottom lashes. Just with a very light coat. I have very long bottom eyelashes, so I don't have to do much to them anyway. Okay, now this eye is dry. You can tell it's not as white. This one is still white, so it's drying. So I'm going to go ahead and start back with this eye with my black Ultimate Volume Mascara. This has green tea fibers in it, so it doesn't get crunchy or anything like that, and they do not fall off on your face. It's a one-step process, and it just really look at that. Look at that. Look at those lashes pop. I hope you guys can see this since I'm in my mirror here doing this. That is unbelievable. So, you can see, just with the lash primer and one coat, what it has done for my lashes. This is, I mean, it amazes me every time I put it on. So I'm just gonna make sure I cover all my eyelashes there evenly. Sometimes I get more in the middle. There we go. I think we've got them pretty much evened out. Now I'm gonna let that dry a little bit. So most people do their bottom lashes first, and you should do that. Do as I say. I mean, yeah, do as I say, not as I do, because when you do your lower lashes first, you're not going to run the risk of getting these wet lashes. If I do my lower lashes right now, when my wet lashes go up, they're going to hit the top. So, but I never do that. I usually just try to wait and let them dry. I always do my top lashes first. I'm not sure why. So these are dry now. I'm going to go ahead and start on this other eye. It's still a little white, but that's okay. That doesn't mean it's not dry. It's just not completely clear. I may have put a little bit more on right there. So I'm going to take this and do the same way on this eye. Just do your mascara like you normally would. Except look at this. Ooh, talking about some lashes. And I'm not really good at applying mascara because my eyelashes are always crazy. That lash primer it makes it so much easier to where you just have to do one coat. You don't use as much as your mascara. It really helps condition them and just separate them a little better for you, so that when you go to put on your mascara, they're already ready to go. I'm just trying to get these evened out here. Wow. Look at that, guys. I hope you can see that. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and do my bottom lashes. Like I said, I don't put a lot on my bottom lashes, not as much as most people do, because I have pretty long, dark eyelashes anyway. On the bottom, I don't on the top, but on the bottom I do. So, but it looks so much better when I do put it on. Just a little bit right there. There we go. Whoops. And if you get some on you, the best thing to do is to let it dry before you wipe it. If you see I got a little underneath, just let that dry so it doesn't smear. Don't wipe it right away. Let it dry good and then go back in with it. I'm just gonna fix these lashes right here on top a little bit. There we go. Make them warm. Look at that, you all. So now I'm just gonna take my eyeshadow brush, and since I've let that dry, it doesn't smear or nothing. See, it comes right off. All right, now that our lashes are finished, all we have left is lipstick. And today I am gonna use our Berry Nice lipstick, and it is this beautiful berry color, berry kind of wine color. It's beautiful. Now these are matte lipsticks, and the best way that you need to do it is they go on wet, but once they set in place, they are on there good. So while they're wet, be sure and fix the outer edges and stuff, and that way when they're dry, it stays on very well all day. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take and I'm gonna outline my lips first and then fill them in. So I'm gonna take it on this side. See that? Outline your lip. Then take the other side. Outline that side. Then I'm going to take the bottom. Outline. And then I'm going to get some more and just fill all that in. See that beautiful color? Now, while they're wet, I'm going to take and go ahead and fix anything I need to fix, because once they dry, they are good. Let me wipe this off a little bit. Okay, wipe it off your fingers good. I've got a little bit right there that I just need to touch up, right there in the middle. So I'm just going to touch that up. There we go. Now, we're going to let that dry really well. You can see the bottom lip is dry where I just added. It's still kind of wet. So we're going to just let that dry really well. Let me be taking down my hair so you guys can see the not so crazy. You can see the finished look. There we go. And sometimes I fill in my eyebrows a little bit. I'm not gonna do that since this video is so long already, since we were doing a full face, but normally I would fill in my brows. And because I've got dark brows, but they are a little sparse, so I just fill those in just a little bit, just to, make them look a little better. But I think that lipstick is good and dry now. Yeah, it's good and dry. See, it's good and dry now, and it's dried down to that matte. So now I'm gonna take it, and it doesn't come off at all. Nothing at all. And I'm pressing pretty good there. So you can see that. Nothing at all on, and so those lips are gonna stay in place while you drink or kiss or whatever. They are gonna stay in place for you unless you put lip gloss or chapstick or some sort of moisture over them. If you do that, then, if you get them moist, it's not gonna stay on well. So keep them dry, let them just stay on there and stay beautiful. And I hope you guys love the finished look. And thank you for watching. If you like this, be sure and hit the like button or hit the subscribe button for more videos that I have coming up. And thank you for watching. Bye.